everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lucy and today I have a rather exciting video for you all. Waterstones have reached out to me and they wanted me to make a video about their Books of the Year shortlist. So if you're unfamiliar with their shortlist, this is something they do every year and they choose one book that's kind of been the most monumental book of the year, and that's just kind of their Waterstones Book of the Year. But the shortlist is 8 books that have really made headlines throughout the year or have just gotten brilliant reviews or really widely acclaimed. So I'd like to talk you through the shortlist and to give you my thoughts on what might be the winner of the Waterstones Book of the Year 2015. So last year's winner was the brilliant The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I absolutely adored this book. I read it a few months ago and absolutely fell in love with it. So it totally deserved to be Book of the Year. And there are a lot of contenders here that I think might just be in for the chance of winning this year. As a disclaimer, I haven't actually read any of these books yet, which might be an issue in terms of judging them and seeing which is the best out of these books. But I'm going to base my decision on the amount of publicity these books have got, how many people I know have loved them and read them, and just what I think, due to hype and word of mouth, what I think might be the winner of the Book of the Year. So let me talk you through the shortlist. There's a great balance of fiction and non-fiction on this shortlist, and the first book on the shortlist is Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. This is a non-fiction memoir all about mental health and depression, and it's a book about Matt Haig. When he was 24, he went through a really difficult part of his life, and this is about reasons to stay alive and reasons to make life worth living. And I think this is such an important book, and I've actually heard a lot of things about this already. It's really kind of a well-known book in the publishing industry, and it's such a cute little package as well. I think this is just an ideal book to kind of pop in your bag or like read it on the tube or something, because it's just one of these guides that is just going to be so handy. So I already know a couple of people who I might give this to this Christmas just because it's such a good book to have. And in terms of non-fiction, I actually might hedge my guesses that this might be a good contender for the Book of the Year, mainly just because of all the love that this book has gotten, and I know a lot of people who really love this book. Now, the next book is a fiction book, and it's a bit of a dark horse. So this is My Brilliant Friend, and this is by Elena Ferrante, I think. This is a book set in the 1950s, and it's about 2 friends, and they live just outside of Naples, and I think it's about friendship and emotions, and I think it's a very dark horse of the list. I've actually not heard anything about this. So when I kind of saw it in the shortlist box, I was like, I've not actually heard anything about this, but I think for that reason, maybe it'll be a bit of a in the dark horse category, and we never know. So do let me know if you've read this book, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on what it's like. And hopefully I might be able to get around to this soon, and I'll let you know my thoughts. The next book is another non-fiction book, and it is The Shepherd's Life, and this is by James Rebanks. So this is a tale of the Lake District, but it's also a kind of non-fiction book about the life of being a shepherd. I've heard a lot about this book. I think in terms of the subject matter, it doesn't appeal to me, but the amount of praise this book has gotten, the amount of hype and the amount of love, like a lot of people I know have read this book and loved it, and I think it's packaged so beautifully as well. And it just makes me really want to read it, even though it's about shepherds and it's non-fiction, which I usually don't read a lot of, but this sounds amazing, and for all the hype that it's gotten, I think for that reason it deserves its place on the shortlist, because I've heard so much about this book throughout the year. And the next book needs no introduction. It is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. How beautiful is this package? I believe this is like an exclusive Waterstones edition, and this has obviously made the shortlist for Book of the Year. I have heard so many amazing things about this. It's already been optioned for a film. I think it's coming out next year or something, like it's in production. And the amount of reviews, the amount of hype around this book, you can't go on Twitter without hearing about this book. Somebody will be reading it or somebody will be tweeting about it. For this reason, I'm going to hedge my bets and just say that this, I think, might be the winner of the Book of the Year. Mainly because along the same lines, last year The Miniaturist won that title. The Miniaturist had the same kind of acclaim as this. It was all over the media, it was all over people talking about it online, and it really drove discussion, and it was a complete buzz book. So for that reason, I think this book might make the Book of the Year. I haven't even read this yet, and I am going to rectify that immediately, because it sounds amazing, and I just want to know what the fuss is about. So let me know if you've read this and what you thought about it down in the comments. The next book is along the same lines as The Miniaturist in terms of hype and buzz and talk. It is A Little Life, and this is by Hanya Yanagihara. So this was nominated for the Man Booker Prize. No mean feat, let me just tell you that. So the Man Booker Prize is probably the most prestigious literary prize, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this was nominated and it was actually shortlisted. And a lot of the people I know who read the shortlist, this was their favourite. I know so many people who've loved this book and said it was so emotional and raw. And this sounds like it's a completely perfect work of fiction. The size is putting me off, but I really want to get around to reading this really soon. It might take me about a year, but I really want to get around to it. I also think this might make a good contender for Book of the Year because it's got that same kind of buzz about it as Girl on the Train has. And I've just heard so many wonderful things about this, so do let me know if you've read this. So, on that powerhouse fiction note, there's also probably one of the biggest books of the year. It is Go Set a Watchman, and this by Harper Lee. This is the astounding follow-up to Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah, this book was pretty intense. Like, this was the publishing event of the year, I would say. The build-up and the announcement and the excitement. Everybody was speculating. It's all you would read about in the papers. And also, it might compete with The Girl on the Train and A Little Life in terms of the winner, because this has probably got a lot of support behind it. And because it was such a big publishing event, it probably will be in for a good chance. So I can't wait to read this too. I've heard mixed things about it, but do let me know your thoughts down in the comments and if you think I should review this book in the future. The next book on the shortlist is one that I was so excited to receive also because it's the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. And that is The Fox and the Sun. This is by Coralie Bickford Smith. This is a picture book. I know, it's absolutely stunning. So this is completely cloth bound and it's so collectible that it makes me want to just buy one for everybody this Christmas. But let me show you the illustrations, which are a piece of art, really. So this is what each page looks like. They are each illustrated and just completely beautiful, and I'm just absolutely in love with it. I was really pleased to see a children's book on the shortlist, mainly because it's just a beautiful piece of fiction, and I'm dying to get round to this. And let me know what you thought of this book if you read it, because oh my god, I just want to read it like right now. And finally, this is probably the book I was most excited to receive. I'm a huge history nerd, as you probably already know if you've been watching my channel for quite a while. So this is a non-fiction history book, and it is SPQR by Mary Beard. So this stands for Senatus Populus Car Romanus, which means the Senate and the people of Rome. I've done my history lessons, people, and this has been shortlisted for the Waterstones Book of the Year. This is an absolute beauty. Can I just say, like, the gold foiling and the cover, and also the mere fact that it's signed by Mary Beard, which is pretty amazing. I'm just really excited to read this. The reason I think this has been shortlisted is because it's such a comprehensive guide of ancient Rome. Also, this has had quite a lot of commercial appeal. I know quite a lot of people have just picked this up even though they don't read historical non-fiction. I think there's something about the Romans which completely draws people in. It's a sort of familiarity. So I think this will be an amazing read. And also the amount of review coverage this has gotten, the amount of praise, and also Mary Beard is one of the most respected historians. So I think this will be fabulous, and I'm kind of rooting for this one as well to be winner, just because aside from all those fiction powerhouse books that we've got there, there's also this one which might be a little bit of a dark horse too. So guys, those are my thoughts on the Waterstones Book of the Year shortlist. Do let me know your thoughts. What books have you read here and what book would you like to be the winner of? And I will be leaving links of all the books mentioned in this video down below, so do check them out if you want to buy them for any Christmas gifts or anything like that. Waterstones will be announcing the Book of the Year on the 1st of December, so there's not long to wait here, and you will know the winner of the shortlist very soon. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!